All right, so sorry, my time limit on my phone went out for that. So, anyways, so yeah, so he met my dad again years later in 2001 when our aunt passed away. And the cops said it was suicide, but our family's all skeptical. So I don't know. I didn't really know her. Don't know the situation fully to say. But anyway, so yeah, so I guess the cops said it was suicide, but the pastor, Pastor Hansen, ended up being the pastor that ended up reaching out to our family, and he didn't know it. But then when he went and told our grandma, our dad was there, and that's when they realized. And from then on, our dad stayed in contact with him. This is how amazing and blessing of a blessing he was for our family. When we were low on food every month, and our dad even claimed it years later that it was multiple times a month, at least twice a month, if not more, if not sometimes 3 months, because our dad had a drug addiction and everything else, gambling, etc., etc. Anyways, so whenever our dad was low on food, he would always talk to him, and the pastor would usually 9 out of 10 times give him cash or a check. And one time, I guess he took my dad aside and he said to him, because he knew about his addiction and about his drug charges, his drug past, and everything. He said, even if you're not using this money that I give you from the church, but you use other money, you're still stealing from the church. Because, and it makes sense. Okay, so you're using the money you have to go get drugs instead of buying food for your family. Then you're going and telling the church you need help. So you shouldn't be doing that. So and I understand completely. And our dad said it weighed heavy on him for, when he did that. But he said he did it at least twice a month where he went to him always. And we ended up going to church every Sunday. It was, really, great church. They had a big old table full of donuts, everything else. And, like one of those churches that would go either buy you food or give you money. Like they would buy you food at the store, not just give you food from a pantry in a can or whatever. Other quick stories I'll get to real quick was the fire station. It was a blessed Christmas that year. That was like in 2003 or something, 2002 or 2003. Our aunt went to the fire station because we didn't really have money for gifts that year. So she went to the fire station to get us some gifts. And basically someone had just dropped off 4 bikes, 3 boys, 1 girl. And basically each bike, literally to the T for the size and gender and everything else that we needed. 1 female bike for the age of about 11 or 12-year-old girl, which was her sister. She was about 10. But the bike was perfect for her. Then our brother, Justice, who I guess was about 8, perfect size bike for him, perfect size bike for our other brother John, who was like 11, and I was about 12. It was perfect size bikes that we had for each and every one of us. So literally just minutes before our aunt got there. So what are the odds of all that? Like that was an angel that God used right there. Another story was, well, I had a huge crush on Lizzie McGuire, I guess, growing up, Hillary Duff. There was that fan website you can go on, and basically we went to Radio Shack in the mall in Fairfield, and I went on to the website, and I found out you can write these letters to all your favorite characters. So I wrote to the mean girl Kate, and I started writing her, saying all these things, and such, I was stupid. And then I wrote one to Hillary Duff, Lizzie McGuire, and I was saying all this stuff, and I told her where I was from, and such, and everything. And anyways, not long later, a couple months later, she showed up to that same mall, but I was too shy to show up to go. So that was kind of funny. I didn't know if it had anything to do with that or not. But the other funny part, that Radio Shack incident, right after all that, I started looking up porn on that computer. I just wanted to see if it would pop up, and a whole bunch of stuff did. God forgive me. And when it did, my dad walks up. He's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, get that out of there. He's like, you're going to get so much trouble. And then he felt so embarrassed because the employee lady walks up and she was like, oh, okay. And, all these such and such is big old wieners and boobies and such. It was pretty funny. And she kept clicking the X buttons in the corner, and it kept popping up more and more and more. It was pretty funny. We had to run out of there, and kind of like that incident on Malcolm Middle when they kicked the guard and then they all fled. It's kind of like that, but we didn't kick nobody. We just all fled from the mall. And yeah, it's funny. And then Yeah, I mean, we lived in the motel, and right behind the motel was a trailer park home. So we had like beef with our trailer park neighbors because we thought we were better than them when we were kids. So we were going around egging all the restaurants and throwing rocks and eggs at the trailer park people 'cause we were kids and we were bored. So I thought I'd say that real quick. I don't know, it's just stuff we did when we were growing up. And then one time, me and my dad had a huge argument. And basically, I got mad and I went to our mother's, Liz's. I said, I hate you so much. I said, I want to go to Liz's. So, he let me. And when I got there, she was being so nice, but at the same time, she was being nice until I got to her home. Then things started changing. She started demanding, telling Ashley things like to do and everything, and go clean the room for me to show me where I'll be staying and all this other stuff, telling her all these things to do, change the diapers, and telling her all these other things, cook dinner. And I was like, I told her, you work for the devil. We had an argument and she cried. And I actually took off. I ran from Liz's and I knew how to get home, so I was walking home. She picked me up just a couple blocks away from the motel. She was like, fine, you want to go back to your dad's? Go back to your dad's. My dad had those last like $20 or $10 or 20 or something like that. And he was about to go on his way out the door because he was so mad about our argument. He was so hurt, I guess, that I was gone. He said I was about to go buy dope with it. He said, but because you're back, he was like, let's go get some ice cream. So we went and got a big old gallon of ice cream and we said sorry and whatever. And then I don't know. But I think that's all I got right here down. And that's pretty much it up, in California from, as a kid. After that, we pretty much left. And we ended up moving when I was 13, going on 14 to Oklahoma. And I'll make another video in a few days, and it'll be the third part, All right, have a blessed week, and God loves you all. And tell somebody, stranger.